Welcome to a special Christmas joint edition of the Community Difference Plano and Wylie. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. And hosted by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group. And also sponsored by Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage. Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles in Plano and Castle Hills locations. Diane Cassel with Castle to Castle. Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators. Megan Shaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured. Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts. And by Cyndi Durrance with A Place at Home. And also hosted by Wylie host Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty. And additionally sponsored by Janice Greenlee with Greenroot Capital. Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services. And by Cloud Staff, the #1 workspace anywhere. And by All Pest Solutions. The Community Difference Plano and Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because this special Christmas edition of the Community Difference starts now.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to a special Christmas edition, a joint edition of the Community Difference Plano and the Community Difference Wylie. I am your host, Nathan Smith. It is a beautiful morning here where we're going to kind of shift from the normal business topic, and we're going to talk all things Christmas. I'd like to bring in right off the bat my co-host, who also hosts, that's got confusing, also hosts the Wylie Show, Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty. Scott, good morning to you.
Good morning. Was that a co-ho-ho-ho-host?
Co-ho-ho-ho-host. Yes, exactly what it was. That's exactly. I love that.
Well,
you look comfy. You look comfy today with your reindeer sunglass thing in the back and your fireplace.
I am. He actually sings Eye of the Tiger. My grandkids love him.
Well, that's pretty impressive. So we are, as always, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of community involvement and business development, but we are going to take a detour today and talk about Christmas, our traditions, the things that mean a lot to us. Hopefully, as you're listening to this, you will relate to a lot of the things that we're sharing today, and just some of our excitement around the holidays. So let's, Scott, let's not waste any time. Let's bring everybody in here for our Christmas special this morning. Let's start here. Let's just start loading everybody in here. Got a lot of guests with us today. We've got Cyndi Durrance, Janice Greenlee, Harvey Loosier, Traci Duff, Diane Cassel, Jax Crider, Suzanna Austin, and Megan Shaffer. Good morning to everyone. Merry Christmas.
Good morning. Good morning.
That was quite an ordeal there. So we're going to go through here for about an hour. We'll have some commercial breaks as we always do. But just sit back and relax, and we're just going to enjoy some time together. So we want to start off by talking about just some Christmas traditions, kind of get everybody. I think that's a big part of the holiday is having different traditions. And I'll start with you, Scott. What is your favorite Christmas tradition, and why is it special to you?
Well, my daughter was born on December 27th, and we didn't want to do the whole Christmas birthday thing, so for us, Christmas started the first day Dad was off after Thanksgiving. All the tree went up, the decorations went up, everything's good. And then on the 20th, it all comes down because the 27th is Carrie's birthday.
So you make a distinction, like this is not a crossover. It's like a separate thing.
Yeah, that's
okay. I love that. Harvey, what about you?
With our situation, we have a blended family. So one of my favorite things to do is Christmas Eve. Me and my wife will go to the candlelight service, And then afterwards, we always go to Roadhouse and get us a steak dinner before to prepare and get ourselves psyched up for Christmas Day when all the kids come over.
I love that. It's challenging when you have the blended family and try to figure out all the different traditions and things. You have to kind of create your own. So that's pretty awesome. Cyndi, what about you?
You know, one of my favorite Christmas traditions, and it comes back from my childhood. I loved it when my grandpa picked me up at the house and he took me to grandma's house and we made candy all day. We did fudge and pralines and apple cake, everything you could think of. And I carried that on with my kids. Not so much anymore because they're older and they always come in town for Christmas. But this Christmas, Carly and I are going to be cooking and baking together Christmas Eve. So that's one of my favorite traditions from growing up, and it's something that I carried on.
Baking has to be one of the best parts of Christmas, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Really just any food, let's be real.
Yeah. I mean, it goes hand in hand with Thanksgiving when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Diane, now first of all, Diane, I think that's a virtual background, but you actually are currently in Hawaii. It is 8:19 a.m., so thank you for joining us early. It is a Merry Kalikimaka, I think is what they say. It's the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's what I heard.
And we're all
that.
We have no idea what movie you heard that from either.
I
Nathan.
don't
No
know.
clue.
It just
No
came to
clue.
me in a vision.
Crosby song.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Well, Diane, favorite Christmas tradition and why?
You know, growing up, and we carried this through into our own adulthood and with children, is we would go to the first Christmas service for kids. And I want to say it was at 5:30. And then we would come home and Mom would have made a big pot of soup of some sort, and we would have soup. And we always have opened our gifts on Christmas Eve. I don't know. It's probably because none of us understand what patience is all about. We couldn't wait until Christmas Day. I have no clue. And for those of you that know me, you know that I have zero patience. So maybe that was why. But we did that, and we carried it through to our blended family, Harvey. And that's just what we've always done.
I love that.
Well, yeah, we always had I feel like the more days you can open a gift, the better. I've been wanting to do like the 12 days of Christmas and really spread it out, but I can't get any buy-in from anyone in my family. So
we wouldn't be able to get any support for that either.
We'll try to figure it out at some point. But Jax, who's not in Hawaii?
No, I'm definitely not in Hawaii. So we do all of our Christmas stuff on Christmas Eve, but that's because we're German. And so Santa is the only thing that we do Christmas Day. But we start opening gifts from the oldest to the youngest, and you have to open like everybody opens one gift, and you go kind of in a round. And so it forces patience, Diane. So I guess in our family, we were trying to force the patience issue. And my husband's family tradition is that they like to eat potato leek soup and sandwiches, and they used to do that on Christmas Eve, but we now do that on Christmas Day. So those are my favorite traditions. Food, of course, and presents.
All about them.
Just a quick show of hands. Like, what's the eggnog ratio on this call? Who's pro eggnog?
Oh, yeah.
I'll drink it.
50%?
No.
60%? No.
In it.
Jax is a hard pass, apparently.
Yeah. No.
Only
Tracy.
for spite.
Well,
you gotta
that's-
put some
Yes,
whiskey.
Cindy.
You gotta put
That's what
some
I was
whiskey
thinking.
in the.
It's got to have good whiskey in it if you're going to have.
I'm just a straight. I just like good old, grocery store eggnog, but it's got not the Southern Comfort crap, but the good like whatever. Anyways, Tracy, I digress.
Yeah. So tradition for here in Texas, and we've been here over 30 years, is, and I may be the only one, I don't know, that still does a live Christmas tree in their house. And we go out to Wall's Family Farm out in Terrell, out in the middle of nowhere, and cut down the Christmas tree, get the hayride, do all the.
How do you down yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so impressed. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
we cut it down ourselves, and it's really cool out there. They have in their farm and everything, all the kids have baked goods and the popcorn balls and hot chocolate and apple cider, and it's really, really cool. You have no choice but to get the Christmas spirit out there.
When our kids, we would go out there too. Our kids would always cut the tree, and to watch a 3-year-old with a bow saw trying to cut down a tree.
Well, we cheat, and we have a little hand chainsaw now that we don't use their bow saws anymore. That's too much work.
The hand chainsaws work remarkably well.
They're amazing.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And you get a little workout in, a little cardio. It's nice.
Yeah. Especially when you got to drag that tree back out to the road where they pick you up with the tractor. So.
I was gonna say you guys have a different version of cardio than I do, but okay, that's cool.
It's like, yeah, it's old school cardio. Janice.
So while everybody was talking, I was thinking about what my answer would be. And with my dad's, I grew up in the military, so we moved all over and we picked up little traditions from lots of places. You know, Jax, I can relate to your Germany stuff because I lived there for 9 years. But my favorite thing is in the military, you know, it's you're never around your close family. It was my parents and my sisters and me. But my dad always invited a couple of soldiers that were alone on Christmas over for
That's awesome
with us. And so as we've all gotten older, that's something that all of us have continued to do. It may not be soldiers, but it's always somebody that doesn't have a family to spend Christmas with. So we always have, I call it stragglers. We always have stragglers over on Christmas to enjoy Christmas dinner so that they're not alone. And I really love doing that.
That's awesome. Fantastic. You make us all emotional and then totally one up all of our Christmas traditions.
Sorry, that's who I am.
We just like to eat at my house. I mean, you know, here's Janice over here being great.
No, it doesn't feel like Christmas when it's a small crowd. You got to fill up the room. I'm just saying.
Suzanna.
Pardon my noise. My friends that live with me who walk on 4 legs are angry at whatever is happening outside right now. So and they're letting
that happens.
But my when we've been moving around my husband's job since probably about a year after we got married. And so we always do a movie Christmas Day, which I had never done before. I didn't even realize the movies were open. So the family loves it. We always choose something. I think the only time we had a miss is when my husband accidentally suggested we go see Meet the Fockers one year. So
Ooh, yeah,
that wasn't super family friendly.
No, probably not. Well, that's awesome. We did that. I saw a Sylvester Stallone movie called Daylight on Christmas one year. This is like 25 years ago, a long time ago. And last but not least, Meg.
Yeah, so for us, it's games, man. We are a board game family. So Christmas Eve, we'll play some. Christmas Day, hurry up, open the gifts so we can get back to the table and play some dominoes or headbands. I mean, I have so many games. So
headbands is such a fun game.
Yes. So that has changed though with a 2-year-old because you cannot play the same games. And I don't have patience for a 2-year-old. So we have changed it to where we've kind of created some of our own traditions. The tree lighting in Plano, that's one of the pictures that we love to get as a family. So you can reminisce and have those family photos to go back and look into. And then the other thing is obviously the Grinch. So the Grinch is what we celebrate, and we always get a picture with the Grinch every year at some event. So I think just the ambiance, the smells, the jingle bells, everything about Christmas is just, it brings a world of magic, and it's fun.
Couldn't agree with you more. We always had we went to my grandparents' house on Christmas Eve growing up. And my grandmother, when she was, and she's a little less healthy now, but my grandfather passed away about 3.5 years ago. But she would spend time writing rhymes for where some of the presents were. And these were all like silly presents, like literally like a pack of gum or a chapstick, just something to go find. But she would take time writing rhymes and put them in the stockings. And then they would, elicit where the present was hidden. And we'd all collectively guess where it was. And then over the years, my uncle and I would always kind of rewrite the rhymes in our heads and make them stupider and stupider and kind of just foil the whole plan, because I don't know why we would do that. But as she was able to not do that anymore, my mom kind of picked up that tradition when we go over to their house, my parents. So it's pretty nice. It's just a fun thing we all pretend like we don't like it, but we all really love it secretly. So it's kind of one of those things. So, well, we're going to go to break. When we come back, some lighthearted questions about Christmas songs, favorite treats, and more. So stick around. We'll be right back on this special Christmas edition of the Community Difference Plano.
This special edition of the Community Difference Plano and Wylie is made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Cassel with Cassel to Cassel, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Shaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations, Cyndi Durrance with A Place at Home, Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, Jancy Greenlee with Greenroot Capital, and by Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services. The Community Difference Plano and Wylie. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back to this special Christmas edition, a joint edition of the Community Difference Plano and the Community Difference Wylie, hosted by myself, Nathan Smith, and of course by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, and a smattering, if you will, of wonderful Christmas decorated, so excited, holly jolly co-hosts. I want to start off this segment with probably a very sore subject for some people, which is, what is your favorite Christmas song and what is your least favorite Christmas song? So tell me why you like, give me the why for your favorite, but then just don't give me the why for your least favorite, or just pick one. You can do one or the other. Don't give the why for both, because we want to try to get through all this. You can either do the why for your favorite or the why for your least favorite. All right. I'll go first here. Make it simple. Oh Holy Night, favorite Christmas song, because I like to sing it and it's challenging and a lot of fun. Least favorite, there's a ton of least favorite Christmas songs, but I think the Hippopotamus for Christmas or Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. But the ubiquitous Christmas song that I think everyone hates is the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas. So that's what I'm going with. Meg, I see you agree with me.
Yeah, anybody that tries to remake songs sometimes just blows it for everybody. So I really like, obviously, Mr. Grinch. We sing that a lot. But yeah, my least favorite is honestly just people who remake it and it doesn't sound good. So
just any remakes for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Scott.
Probably my favorite. It's a brand new one. It's Mercy Me. I just heard it this first time this year. It's called Joseph's Lullaby, and I had never really considered Christmas from Joseph's point of view. And I had, you're told, hey, the Holy Spirit got me pregnant, and then what does this guy do with that? Yeah. It's one of those. Okay, yeah, right. And he even gets an angel come talk to him, and he goes, "Okay, we're gonna work with this." And his whole perspective on Christmas was, just had to be completely different than what we could imagine. And then when you go with the least favorite, any of the ones that are so repetitive and it's got lots of bop. So I'm not into the real repetitive, bubbly, kind of the kids song on steroids kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's funny about I was watching the Nashville Christmas, the Nate Bargatze Christmas special last night. If you haven't seen that, it's remarkable. And they were making a joke about how Joseph has no Christmas songs, and so it's good to know that there is one. So I'll have to go check that out. That's fantastic. Harvey.
Well, I would say my favorite one is Holy Night, and I would have to definitely agree with you with the Mariah Carey song. That one just crawls underneath my skin. I can't seem to.
What is wrong with you people?
I know. I agree.
That's a great song.
She's obviously talented. It's just
Bad song.
overplayed, I think, is what it is. I think that's the main thing.
It is overplayed. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And then, what about good one? Your favorite?
Holy Night.
Hey, we're just we're twinsies. That's
I'm telling you, it's the best one to sing at candlelight service.
Diane from Hawaii.
My favorite Christmas song of all time is "Mary, Did You Know?" And why? I hope is obvious because it's about Jesus. And least favorite, you guys aren't going to know this one. And I had to pull it up last night because I couldn't remember the name of it. But my husband loves animated Christmas movies for some reason. And I can't stand animated Christmas movies. I'm not talking about the Grinch or anything like that. I'm talking about these animated. There's one called
Charlie
The
Brown?
Snowman. Look it up. It's called The Snowman, and it's an animated film. And the song is called Walking in the Air. It is horrific. Just trust me. It's
Walking in the Air. Take that off your list. And I almost said Mary, Did You Know? That's definitely a close second, especially the Pentatonics version. So I feel you on that, Diane. Janice.
All right. I'm a traditionalist. White Christmas. Hello. By
Nothing
Bing
wrong with that,
Crosby.
of course.
Yeah. That's
Do you
one.
like the Michael Bublé version?
No.
Which is kind of like his.
Copycat.
I mean, he did that intentionally, but
And then the worst ones are like Grandma Got Run Over and Hippopotamus. I hate those.
That's mine. It's Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. That song is annoying.
is there any
Seriously.
song that's less exciting about Christmas than that one? I probably should have gone with that. Couldn't agree more. Jax, you're passionate about that. Is that yours?
That's my anti. I don't like Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It's annoying and
It's pretty
not nice.
self-explanatory why you wouldn't like it. It's terrible.
I mean, no, I know, but also Grandma Got Run Over. Like, wow, what a Christmas song, guys. That's great. Awesome. Mine is going to be a toss-up either between Mary, Did You Know by Pentatonic, that one specifically. I love that one. Or my grown-up Christmas list.
That's a good one.
I haven't heard that one. I have to go listen to that one. I got to listen to some of
You've
these
heard it, I
terrible ones.
bet. I bet
Maybe I
it's
have.
like not liking wars and, love ruling all. And
Oh, okay.
that one. Yeah.
Okay. I bet that sounds pretty
It's a
good.
good one.
Tracy.
Yeah, I'm in with all of that Mariah Carey. She just needs to stop. She's gotten enough plays. Yeah, I'm done with that. But my favorite, there's two of them, but they're both from Peanuts. And the Lucy and Linus, or Linus and Lucy, and the Christmas tree.
Is that the Charlie Brown theme?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Love that.
I learned to play that somewhat on the piano one time.
It takes me back to Chris. I mean, it takes me back to my childhood. It's all the feels, and yeah, I love it. I could listen to that over
It
and
is
over.
a distinctly Christmas like feel. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Suzanna.
Well, I don't hate any Christmas songs. I love them all. And I'm driving all of my teammates crazy because I've been wanting to play them since Halloween. But my favorite is probably Go Tell It on the Mountain. And then my other one, just because I'm an 80s kid, is probably The Waitress's Christmas Wrapping. It just always makes me happy.
Have you ever heard the Dolly Parton Go Tell It on the Mountain version?
Yes.
It gets
That's
real
beautiful.
fast. It's like a really good one. It's a solid one.
Yeah.
And then did I Cyndi, did we do you?
No.
Cindy's last.
Not yet.
All right.
You know what? Mary, Did You Know is probably one of my all-time favorites because it just brings the reality of like what Christ came for and who he is. And I have a couple fun ones like White Christmas, and I like Jingle Bell Rock, and I like the rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town for fun stuff. As far as ones I don't like, anything, I haven't even bothered to find out what the name of them are. If it sounds a little off or perverted or weird or too modernized, I just change the channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of an old school. There occasionally there are some new Christmas songs that will come out that are actually good. It's very rare, but like the one that Scott was just talking about. So we've got about 4 minutes to our next break. So we're gonna go through one kind of a quick question here. If you could only eat one Christmas treat for the rest of your life, and I mean only at Christmas, you can eat everything else the rest of your life, but just at Christmas, you only get one thing. What is that special treat? Scott, I'm going to start with you.
My wife, when she was growing up, made cream wafers, and that's become a tradition for us. Matter of fact, my granddaughter picked up from school early. She'll be over here making cream wafers today.
Cream wafers. Okay, we got to try that. Cyndi.
Homemade chocolate fudge with black walnuts.
Homemade chocolate fudge with black walnuts. Okay,
I'm in.
well,
Yep.
that sounds delightful. All these sound wonderful. Jax.
Gingerbread. I love gingerbread.
People
Can't go wrong. You honestly can't go wrong with gingerbread. That's a great point. Janice.
I don't have a good answer for this. Seriously. I love all the Thanksgiving food. So by the time I get to Christmas, there's nothing that I haven't already had 1,000 pieces of. So there's nothing that I go, oh, I have to have.
Well, that just means you're grateful for anything you
I'm
get.
gonna say, you're not gonna say like peppermint bark or something that's quintessentially Christmas. Okay.
Nothing. I was racking my brain.
Meg.
I'm still I'm into pumpkin. It's still pumpkin season for me. So anything pumpkin bars, pumpkin cookies, all the pumpkin goodness, I will take anything over mint and stuff. So
I mean, yeah, technically pumpkin does last through Christmas for sure.
yeah.
At least according to Starbucks, and they apparently know everything. So I don't disagree with you on that. Susanna.
Anything with whipped cream.
That doesn't really narrow it
Really
down.
wide berth.
I love all the things. So anything with whipped cream.
So regular spray can.
Or just the whipped
Yeah,
cream.
real whipped cream or the can?
Yes to both of those.
Like,
Again,
yes,
just
please.
whipped cream, guys. She's just gonna
Yes,
eat
please.
some big bowl of whipped cream.
Diane.
Well, mine is bird's nest cookies, and you're saying, what in the world is a bird nest cook?
We are saying that.
I know.
My grandmother made them and passed the recipe down to my mom. And my mother passed it down to me, which was hysterical because I don't bake. And she said to me one year, she says, I've been making these bird nest cookies for generations and decades. And she says, they take a lot of work. And she says, I think it's your turn. And I said, but I don't bake. And so I tried them one year and it was a one and done for me, but they are fabulous. They're little round little cookies and they're made with crushed pecans or crushed walnuts. And you make them round with the dough, the cookie dough, and then you press your thumb down in the center of it after they've half baked and they're still warm. And then you've mixed this the frosting and you put color. So you put Christmas colors in the frosting. And so you've got red and green frosting that you put on the cookie when it comes out of the oven. And I'm telling you, they're bite-sized goodies. And I could probably polish off about 12 of them.
So who's all for Diane making an extra batch of those this year?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, she gets to try on
Yeah.
round
Eating us
two.
an extra batch and then just kind of that would be
It'll cost you.
That's
It'll
fine.
cost you.
I'll pay for it. Harvey.
Mine is peanut butter balls. My wife makes these
Ooh.
peanut butter balls that are covered with chocolate.
Oh, yum.
It's like a Reese's.
Is it crunchy peanut butter or not crunchy?
No. Just smooth peanut butter. It's like a Reese's. I love it.
Crunchy peanut butter is for communist. Let's just be honest. That's not.
It's true.
Wow, it's a bold statement.
That's funny.
At least you know how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a strong
Nobody-
opinion about that one at all.
I do. I mean, I don't know. If you love crunchy peanut butter, that's fine. That's just not my thing. So I'm with you, Harvey. That sounds amazing. Traci, wrap us up.
Yes. So I'm the one who makes all the goodies for the families and all that around here. Many times I go through many different shelves of, but my favorite that I make, they're called White Avalanche, and they're no bake, and it's with white chocolate, peanut butter, Rice Krispie treats, and marshmallows. And they're absolutely amazing. And I would eat, I make myself sick on those.
Well, believe it or believe it or not, mine is not necessarily, everyone's kind of described desserts, and I love desserts, but mine is more tied to a tradition. So it's going to be kind of weird, but on Christmas Eve, one of the things we always had desserts and pumpkin pies and everything, but my grandmother would always make this incredible cucumber dip and shrimp dip. And we would put shrimp in it, obviously, but we would dip chips in it and all kinds of different things. And it was just really, 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 really good. And so partly is because, that signifies that night to me. So that's kind of a tradition, but it's also incredibly delicious. So I'd probably not get as fat because I'm not eating sweets. So that would be helpful if I had to do that.
I feel like we just need to bring all of these treats somewhere, like as a group.
We should. Well, hey, next year, that's what we should do at our Christmas party. We should bring
our
favorite thing.
Let's not wait till next year, like New Year's.
Agreed. Agreed. The next time we have the next time we have the
BDA
happy hour, the BDA, either one.
Yeah, lunch and
We'll figure it out. Yeah. Well, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, more exciting Christmas. Stick around. We will be right back on this special edition of the Community Difference Plano and Wylie.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
Welcome back to this special edition of the Community Difference Plano and Wylie, a joint edition. We are excited to be here alongside all of our co-hosts. As we transition into this segment here, I want to take it a little bit more seriously. And I'm going to start with you, Scott. How do you keep the focus on the true meaning of Christmas amidst the chaos of the season, if that makes sense?
Well, I focus on this little guy back here in this manger behind me because he is the reason for the season. And I have materialistic in my life and wanted bigger, better, somebody stuff. But I read a book and was talking to some people about it at the Lunch and Learn even, and kind of changed my life and gave me a little bit longer eternal perspective. So the whole materialism thing, I've kind of moved past a lot of materialism. My kids hated it Christmas because what do we get Dad? Always the what do we get Dad thing, because Dad just gets what Dad wants when Dad wants. But that it's about Jesus, so we just make it about Jesus.
Traci.
Yeah, I remember growing up. Dad and I would always go to midnight mass, and that always brought it circle for me. And so I try my best within the family here to keep that in the center of everything. And I really focus on the giving and not the receiving. So when we do even with the gifts with the kids, it's not just about, chucking all the gifts around and all that. They have to present their gift, whoever they gave it to. So it goes back to the giving and not just the receiving aspect of it.
That's very good. I love that. Janice.
So a couple things. We definitely like to serve during the season. We've always gotten our kids involved in that as well. And years ago when our kids were young, we started taking them and showing them how to adopt other folks for Christmas, whether it's for Christmas meals or gifts for kids that are underprivileged, or we always put together boxes to ship to veterans, things like that. So it was always it wasn't about just the climax of them getting gifts on Christmas Day. It was all the stuff that leads up to it to remind them. It's not just about our spoiled little selves. So that helps. And then of course, being
was always big. Yeah. I love that. That's very good. Diane.
How I do it is I just eliminate the chaos. And for years I didn't do that. I got wrapped up just like everybody else did and scurrying around, and I really didn't have any fun. I got to be a Scrooge definitely at Christmas because it wasn't fun for me. So I eliminate the chaos. I don't go buy a bunch of gifts for anybody. And I'm really old fashioned. And I believe that we should all believe in Santa. Just because it's the magic. Mm-hmm. And keeping Jesus at the core, as Scott talks about, keeping Jesus at the core. I read the book of Luke every single December to do that, and I stay in the Word. And so we just do stockings now. And I've been giving stockings to my boys that are now, they're, what are they, 36 and 38. Believe it or not, they still get a stocking. And I give them a major gift in the stocking. But it just keeps Christmas, like a child. Just think like children do, the magic.
Well, and going to Hawaii helps get rid of the chaos too, right?
Yeah, that's right. We don't come back until after Christmas. That's right. So it's all about me. That's right.
Well, yeah. Are you always somewhere over Christmas or just lightly?
No, actually, this is the second time that we've been away at Christmas. The first time we took the boys on a cruise, and we went through Christmas and came back on New Year's Day. And so we kind of got it in our blood to do it that way. And just to get out of the hustle and bustle and just come and relax, island time.
Man, that sounds really relaxing. Yeah. I'm not a big warm weather for Christmas, but the beach does sound pretty fantastic. I'm not going to lie. Jax.
One of the things that we like to try to do is some of the shoe boxes that go to kids, like overseas. And we try to pick out a kid that's around my daughter's age so that, it's like she gets to help pick out the little toys and things like that and whatnot. And then as a family, as opposed to buying 8 jillion gifts, we started doing kind of like a good and bad white elephant. So everybody has to bring one like thing that you spent like $100 ish on, and then one thing that you found around your house. That's not necessarily, doesn't have to be bad, but it could be bad. And then we do like a good round and a bad round. And so it's funny because of the random stuff you see in the bad round. It makes it a little bit fun and a little bit less like focusing so much on buying 8 million gifts. And so it's kind of a fun thing we started a couple of years ago, and it continues on. And we found some really interesting, bizarre things. Last year, my one of my daughters ended up with a giant box of gumballs, actually. So that was kind of fun from the random ones, the random things. But yeah, it's fun.
That's a good way to re-gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing
my brother said,
better than being able to re-gift.
Treasure, right?
Nothing better than the re-gift. I love it. Suzanna.
Well, we stick to our family traditions and keep the family close. Since, like I said, before we moved around a bunch, so we appreciate each other a little bit more for that reason, because we're all we have. So, and then of course we go to mass on Christmas Eve, so we recognize first and foremost why we're celebrating in the first place. So I think that's it in a nutshell. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I didn't grow up Catholic, but I went to mass a couple of times on a midnight mass with some friends of mine that were Catholic, and it's pretty awesome. Like, yeah. I kind of want to do it again. Like, there's one right down the street from me, so we'll see. I may just go by myself while everyone's sleeping. So who knows? Cyndi.
Well, I come from a family of volunteerism and community, and so many Christmases we would put shoe boxes together for our military overseas, and that really touched me. And we would do volunteers at the it usually wasn't on Christmas, but like a week before Christmas, our community would hand out a meal to people that couldn't afford it. And I tried to pass that on with my children. And we have done that too. I have taken them to what would be the local soup kitchen, and they would help serve. When they were little, they'd set the table and things like that. And what keeps Christmas alive for us isn't the gifts. I let my mom, do Santa Claus until that wore off. We as adults, we don't buy gifts. We go and have an experience together and just spend time together, cook together. Maybe like this weekend, I leave for Austin. I know Christmas Day, we're going to go out on the boat and look at all the Christmas lights. And it's more about just being together for us and realizing who we are in the Lord and understanding that this is the only time we have. We may never get it again.
Awesome.
Yeah, so kind of like how I was saying before, the Christmas ambiance is just something to take in. Like, I get so excited when the Christmas lights go up and you get to see them just driving around town. So Deerfield neighborhood, we always like to go into. Now I live through I become a big kid. I feel like at Christmas time, so it's something that I feel like, I get to enjoy this and be with my family. But now I get to live through my son. Even though I don't have patience for him playing adult games, he's so much fun to just see something new light up or a new experience. And just the fun things that we get to do around town. We're going to go to the Galleria on Christmas Eve and do the Santa workshop and the snow day. So I'm just excited to see life through his eyes for a little bit till he gets a little bit older. And then y'all make me want to go out and volunteer a lot more, because we do the toy giving, but the volunteering, I think, is something, your time is precious too. And it's still something to do when he gets a little bit older, and put value to that as well.
Well, I've learned in my walk of faith, going through the years, that to stay focused on the true meaning of anything in life, you have to be tied into something that you're serving. That serving is always something that keeps your perspective and your thinking and mindset correct. Also, to stay in God's word and to top it off in prayer, to always stay in prayer. So those are the three things that I could always suggest for anybody to be able to keep focused on anything in life.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for us, it's all about, and kind of what you were talking about, Harvey, it's all about perspective, because we actually do an Advent wreath with our family. We light it on the 4 Sundays on Sunday, and have a devotional that we're following through. And obviously, getting to go to the candlelight, I know we talked about that on the Plano show last week. And so by the way, if you don't have a candlelight service to get to, come with, message me and y'all can come with us. So that would be amazing. But we're going to go to commercial break here. When we come back, we'll wrap up our Christmas show together, a few more questions and just kind of getting people's perspective. So stick around. We will be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible. At FireBoss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, FireBoss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit FireBossRealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back. We've had a great time so far. It's always fun getting to hear everybody's perspective and just from fun things like Christmas songs and favorite treats and things like that to a little more in-depth topics. And so we kind of want to end with a little more kind of a thought-provoking question. And because Scott, you talked about how you've kind of turned the materialism side of Christmas off, which is good, right? But there is a huge benefit, I think, to generosity and giving in Christmas. But I want to challenge everybody to think about this. And it can be more lighthearted too, in a sense, if it's from, when you were a child. But what is the most meaningful Christmas gift you've ever received? Not necessarily your favorite, like, my dollhouse when I didn't get a dollhouse. I'm talking about for other people. Hey, but what if I did? No, I'm just kidding. But something, not just that you liked it, but that it was really, that's going to make a great short and reel for later, isn't it? Not just that you liked it, but it had a lot of meaning to you for maybe who it came from or just kind of the season of life that you were in. So take a moment to think about that. I will, well, I got to think about it myself. Anybody want to pop up and go first? I don't want to put anybody on the spot because that one's going to take a second to think about. Diane. Okay, perfect.
It has to be ice skates.
Okay.
And I was probably, I'm going to say 12. I really don't, that's just a stab in the dark as to when I got the ice skates. But growing up in Sioux City, Iowa, growing up in the frozen tundra of the world, we did a lot of things outdoors. And until I became an adult, I actually loved the outdoors in the snow and the ice. And then something happened where I don't like that. So hence why I'm in Hawaii. But the ice skates meant so much to me because of all what you're all saying and sharing here today on our show is that it's creating memories. It's doing things together. And so it was doing the ice skating with my brother. We would walk up to the baseball field that was about 4 blocks from our house, and they would ice over the baseball field every winter. And we went up there and we went and skated at night. They would turn the lights on, and we would meet our friends up there, and we would skate until our toes were so frozen that we could not feel them. And
awesome.
And I just have to say that it had to be ice skates, and I don't know how much they were back in the day. Probably cost my parents a fortune, but they went and they gave me those skates, and I will never forget it.
It's awesome.
Harvey.
Can I follow that one? Can I follow that only because mine were roller skates? And that's the only reason I wanted to follow it.
Because in Texas, there's no ice, guys.
Well, I was in California then, and there was no ice.
Okay, well, there's less ice there even than Texas.
We went roller skating every Friday night, and we had friends of ours that managed the roller rink, and I could get free skates. I didn't have to pay the rental fee because of the friends. So my dad told me, you will never be getting your own roller skates because you get free skates. Well, obviously mom trumped him, and I got white on white roller skates that year for Christmas. So yeah.
Nice.
That was very meaningful. And I was about 12.
So
Harvey. I actually have two that really just pop out in my mind. One was when I was a kid. I remember when the Super Nintendo came out, and I really wanted that for Christmas. And it's funny because I'm not a materialistic person now, but back then I already knew my best friend across the street was getting one, and my family just didn't have a lot of money, and so I was really, really down in the dumps about it because I just knew I was not getting a Super Nintendo for Christmas. But to wake up that morning and see it just laying out there, already hooked up to the television, so which tells me how my dad had already played this game. Or Santa Claus did. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, that really sticks out in my mind, and that was probably one of my best Christmas moments as a child. But once I got older, and my wife, she introduced me to this. Anything that a gift that I received that it's made is and my wife has really brought that perspective to me. And the one year that she actually wrote me a letter for Christmas, to me that just stands out tremendously. So we kind of adopted that and made that a tradition among one another to either write a letter to one another or to make a gift for one another.
That's awesome.
That's so nice.
Very cool.
That's great. That's a good tradition.
Yeah.
And that's a good continual gift. Susanna.
Something that stands out. I was picturing this also while everyone was talking, and I just remember my first bike. It was kind of around a time when my belief in Santa may have been wavering, and so I was trying. all assembled and put together, and waking up on Christmas morning and seeing two of them, one for myself and one for my younger sister. Where did those come from? Where had they been the whole time? So just it was. I remember just thinking it was just magical. Like it just my whole life. I can feel the warmth in my body from when I saw that. Like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? Because really, where were they? I'll have to ask my mom later.
No. Where were they secretly hidden? Egg.
Well, as a kid, it was definitely a Cabbage Patch doll. I still remember like how it smells.
Yeah,
And I
80s
would
baby.
hold it and what it looks like. It was wearing what it was wearing. I mean, Cabbage Patch was cool because you got the birth certificate that went with it. So, but then as an adult, it would definitely be my dog Darla. She passed away a couple of years ago, but my little teacup Chihuahua, she was 14 and 3 pounds, and she loved people. So it's like the only Chihuahua I knew that didn't bark at people. So she just loved on everybody.
I did not get a Cabbage Patch as a kid, but I'm glad. That was very good. Very
Go with your
good.
dollhouse? You didn't? That's rude.
No. I'm just naming all the things I didn't get as a kid. So.
Oh, heard. Okay.
Cyndi.
I can think of 2 gifts, and I find this, it kind of ties in with the homemade, piggybacking off of that. I wanted a bike really bad for Christmas, and my parents got the idea that they would restore my mother's old bike, and they did, and it looked brand new. And that was a family project, a gift of love that my grandparents and my dad put into it. And I felt like my mom was so proud that they redid the bike and it was hers and she was handing it down to me. And that was probably, I was about 10, something like that when that happened. And then before that, my grandpa was probably 4 years old. I mean, there's pictures of me standing beside this cupboard that he made. And the cupboard was such in detail. It had knobs, and you pull out the drawer, and it had chains attached so you didn't fall out. And there were shelves and everything, all this cool stuff. It was extremely detailed and decorated. And I remember playing with it, and I remember getting it, but I was probably only 4 years old at the time. And those 2 gifts really stand out for me.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's those really early memories that cement kind of that feeling of meaning specifically. So, Janice.
Yeah. Mine is going to be really odd, y'all. I think I was born old. Seriously, when I was 12, we lived in Germany, and I've always we just didn't grow up with a lot of money. So any big gift was a big deal. So I was racking my brain trying to think if there were any big gifts. And the only one I can come up with that was a big, big deal. I still have it. It's a German china cabinet that my parents got for me at 12 years old. And it's the only thing that, like, my whole life, I'm like, yeah, that's the only present I can even remember, because it was such a big deal that I got this old German china cabinet that I've been hauling around now for 50 years, 40 years. Sorry, my math is off. 40 years, because I'm not 60 yet. But looking back, I think they got it because it was cheap and they could afford it. And they knew that it would be something that I could use for a long, long, long time. It wasn't like because I asked for one or anything like that. Yeah. But man, to have that piece of furniture still all these years later, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love it's kind of different, but I like that a lot. That's very good. Jax.
So there's probably 2. One of them is really simple. Like growing up, my mom was very frugal, and we always rented books, and I loved to read, still do, love to read. And so I didn't really usually have that many books of my own. And so the only thing I asked for Christmas was books. And my mom bought me probably 10. And I had them all read in a week. She said it was the most depressing Christmas of her life because I had like read all my gifts in like a week, but I was pleased as punch. That was great. I had 10 books of my own that I got to read, and that was awesome. And then another one was the year, and it wasn't exactly a Christmas present, but it happened around Christmas. There was a ring that my Oma had bought when her mother had come from Germany. And her mother, she grew up super poor. She wasn't very wealthy when she moved to the States. And her mother had helped her put money down on a ring that was like a cluster of diamonds kind of, and it was a big deal, and it was in layaway, and my gross Oma put the money down for it, and they paid it off in layaway, and then she'd had this very special ring, and she gave it to me, and I still have that ring. And so it's like the women in my family. And so as far as like deep, meaning to me, that's probably the most common.
I love that.
That's great.
That's great.
Scott, wrap us up here with this question.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
We're on mute, sir.
Well, it doesn't look like he's on mute, but
Got nothing.
I can't hear him. Still nothing. Well, I don't know. We'll try to come back. Maybe Scott can type its answer. Yeah, we were having technical. You know how it goes.
Yep.
Christmas tech issues.
Always.
That's right.
Oh, and now he's
Well, for me, my gift is I was trying to think of an actual gift, but then I thought I discovered a you remember those like Tyco kitchenette sets? I discovered that for that gift was hidden in my parents' closet for my sisters when I was like 5, and then I all of a sudden knew, the truth about Santa Claus. But to Diane's point, that was an incredible gift because I then got to be a part of the magic. I got to be a part of helping, keep the magic going for them, and being, the third Santa of the family, if you will. So it just really, we'd put out reindeer food the night before, and somehow it graduated from carrots to shredded wheat. I don't know when that change happened, but
when there were no carrots in the house.
That's right.
When the parents didn't want to eat shredded carrots anymore.
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't know what the deal is there, but so it's So that was a really, then just being able to be part of that for many years until they realized, the truth. But then the bigger truth, as Diane talked about, was just kind of continue the magic of giving and service, which I think is fantastic. So, well, everyone, thank you so much for being on our Christmas special. Scott, I don't know if your audio issues are fixed, but thank you for co-hosting with me. And
we
can hear him.
You back?
Yay.
I figured it out.
Okay, good. Well, let's do this, Scott. Why don't you wrap us up and give us, if you would, just you personally, what does Christmas mean to you? And then give us a sign off, and we'll be done with the show today.
Well, I actually thought about this morning. I get up at about 4 o'clock every day, and that's when I read my Bible. It's quiet at the house. And I was thinking about the Christmas thing because we had the show today. And a poem popped in. So I just wrote it down real quick while I was up. But like I said earlier, Christmas to me, it's all about Jesus. It's his birth. It's the greatest gift the world's ever been given. And so I'll just do the poem. I've read through it a couple times since I just wrote it today. But in Bethlehem, the star shines bright, guiding wise men through the night. A humble stable, cold and bare, held a gift beyond compare. Angels sang and shepherds came to worship at his holy name. Born to save, to bring us light, Jesus born that silent night. With love and grace entered in to free the world from death and sin. A baby in a manger lay, our hope on Christmas Day. So,
beautiful.
Wow, that was awesome.
Wow, that's magnificent. Very nice.
And I hope a great holiday season and a great new year.
Well, I don't think we could end it any better than that, Scott.
Well,
So thank you.
No, that was poetic.
Thank you so much.
That
Hey,
was
Merry
amazing.
Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas to our
Merry
Wylie
Christmas.
community. Merry Christmas to our
Christmas.
Plano
Merry
community.
Merry Christmas.
Be
Merry
safe
Christmas,
out there.
everyone.
Spend time with your family. Don't forget the true meaning of Christmas. And we'll see you guys in 2025. God bless.
Thank you for watching today's show.
This special edition of the Community Difference Plano and Wylie was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Cassel with Cassel to Cassel, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jax Crider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Shaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Suzanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations, Cyndi Durrance with A Place at Home, Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, Jancy Greenlee with Greenroot Capital, and by Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services. The Community Difference Plano and Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.